coming at you with another live stream. Yep, we had the Let's Algo live stream, and we are talking about all things Algorand news, including that crazy Algorand price pump. Going bananas today, Algorand price. So I know some people laughed at me, and I was talking about the earlier pump, but it was apparent to me that good things are on the way, and here they are. So we're going to dig into that, look at all that, see what ASAs it might have brought with us, and we're going to look at all the other Algorand news. So be sure to stay with us. Say, by the way, guys, sorry that I am coming at you a little earlier than I normally would. Typically, I go live at 6:30 on Saturdays, but I got a photo shoot tonight, so I'll be taking some photos, getting paid for it, as I like to do. So I wasn't able to go at my normal time, but here we are. And you know what? We got some good stuff for you today, so don't worry about that. Guys, if you're new to the channel, if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, love to have you along for all our Algorand and other blockchain videos. We focus mostly on Algorand just because it seems to be the best chain, the one that actually works as promised, actually does what it's supposed to do, and it's fast, it's cheap, transactions are very inexpensive, and usually when you pull up the apps, they actually work. It's amazing how much stuff in this ecosystem outside of Algorand where just the basic stuff doesn't work. I will never understand it. And I've gone to, just today I was, what was it now? I was pulling up, I was trying to join a different network, and I was trying to pull up the wallet for it, and the wallet made you give an address. And every time I typed in my address, it just wouldn't work. It was crazy. I'm like, how can you do? How is this useful? Interesting. I'm getting a lot more viewers than I typically do at 6:30. Maybe this is a better time. I have to keep that in mind from now on. But I don't run into that stuff in Algorand nearly as much, and that's good. One exception has been Humble. It simply does not recognize the coins in my wallet, which is really strange. It says zero for every pool, whether I have any or not. But overall, I've been pretty happy with the way things have worked on Algorand. That's why I mostly do my channel on it. So if you guys, like I said, if you're new, if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, it'll help you see all our Algorand videos and occasionally on other chains. And hit the like button too. That'll show it to other people. And if you really want the inside scoop, you can hit the join button. You can get, I basically do weekly breakdown of my moves in my portfolio, how it's going, something I'm tracking for myself, and kind of give you a sense so you can kind of live vicariously through me, see all my mistakes or wins before you do them yourself. Try to put some sound panels up. They are not staying up, as you can see. One is up behind me, one is not. Hopefully that improves the sound a little bit. But otherwise, I can see that one already fell off, but it is what it is. Okay, well, let's get into enough about that. Let's get into Algorand news. Oh, and by the way, throughout the show, anytime you want to ask a question, please do so in the chat. People ask me questions through the chat all the time, and we're pretty much going to get answered. I try to answer everybody, so any questions in the chat, I don't even save them till the end anymore. I just kind of take little breaks and answer. So let's see what we got here going on. Well, we got to talk about the price first and foremost. So let's do that. 1 second here. Hope you guys are all doing great out there. By the way, I know it's fun times like this. It's when the price is actually moving positively. It's good. Now, I say this a lot, that I don't think price should be the main thing that you focus on when it comes to Algorand, but it sure is nice when it does go up, because your bag just goes bananas. Well, let's look at that, because they're up 25% on the week. We haven't seen that kind of pump in a while. We'll make a lot of videos on this, and I'll tell you, it hasn't been like that. A couple candles down recently, but it was up as high as 45 cents. I saw that. I saw it when it was not a ghost candle. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but that's what I call it, those little, when it bumps, just briefly touches on those amounts. But yeah, we were up over 45 cents, and that's amazing. Still pretty much sitting at the top of the bands, I assume. Let's pull up the indicators. The two that I use are the RSI. Ooh, voice thing. I use the RSI and the Bollinger Bands. Typically, when you see them hit this bottom of this Bollinger Band with a very low RSI, usually much lower than this, you can usually assume that a pump is coming. In this case, it didn't even have to go to that. Usually you're looking for below 30, but these aren't normal times. We're in a pump zone, so kind of the normal rules don't apply to that. But I think that's pretty interesting. Now I want to pull back. I want to head back to CoinMarketCap because you can see everything is kind of going up a little bit, but Algorand is outpacing a lot of these other coins. And in fact, I sort them by 7-day. There's not very many ahead of it. There's Algorand, Polygon, Phantom, Loopring, Chili's, OKB, and Arweave pumped harder, but those are the only ones that did. So Algorand, which is now, by the way, has made it to number 26 in market cap thanks to that little pump. I'm going to explain a little bit about that too, because I saw some questions about how market cap works in the Algorand Reddit this week. So I'm going to explain that. It's very, very, very simple. It's the total supply of the coin that is in the wild. So not like all together that will be out one day, but everything that's out now multiplied by the price. That is your market cap. So Algorand has a very huge supply, and there's a lot yet to be released. So, but not, I think, less than half, but still plenty to go. So we're going to see this market cap expand yet. But when the price goes up, it has a huge impact because there's a lot of coins out there. So every coin is worth that much more. So a 10% or a 10-cent price pump in Algorand is a lot bigger than a 10-cent bump in Bitcoin in terms of market cap because there's just more coins. So yeah, this is really great. Let's look at. So we're going to go over to DApp Radar. Now this surprised me. Algorand is at number 16 in terms of TVL. That means total value locked. And total value locked just basically says stuff that's in a smart contract. In other words, coins that are being used. Very important thing there. And Algorand has been, much higher than its market cap. And there's not many things above it. Obviously, Ethereum is at number 1 just because there are so many. It was the first, so there are so many protocols. There are 593 protocols. And right now there are 18 on Algorand. Now some of this is weird, right? Like there's this Osmosis that has 2. I haven't even heard of Osmosis. DeFi chain is barely nothing, but they have a pretty big thing going on there. By the way, I've been trying to get out of DeFi chain. I just need to sell the rest of my DeFi. I took all my Bitcoin off of there, put it back on my Algorand blockchain. DeFi is just, it's like there's no real good off ramps. I think KuCoin is one of the ones. I might have to get KuCoin because there's a couple of things on there that, like actually getting XRP. I've been wanting to just buy a little bit of XRP. So one thing I think that's really going to help this, by the way, now that I'm looking at it, is I don't know if you guys have heard of Melka Media, but it's the new bridge between Algorand and Ethereum, allowing for Ethereum virtual machines to work on Algorand. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I still don't fully understand it. I have sort of a very, very rough approximation. And well, I've talked about this before. Like, I think these companies need to get way better at explaining their stuff because I've watched an interview with him, and it's like they go into the weeds and they don't think about the viewer, and they really got to fix that, in my opinion. Let's see, we got some people here. Hey, oh. Yeah, Alex says, isn't everything pumping right now? Well, I think I kind of covered that. Algorand's one of the top of the pumps. So let's see what we got. A lot of people in there. How do you think Algo compares to ADA? Well, I'll tell you what. The one thing I tried on ADA was Sunday Swap, and it seemed to be a disaster. So everything I've done on Algo has worked pretty well with the difference of Sunday Swap. So that's my opinion. I'm divested of ADA. I'm just not in it anymore. And Opal XCT. Yeah, Opal not doing so well lately compared to some of the other ones. I just did a video on Opulus, by the way, so you should check that out. Let me take a break and answer some questions. We got a big chat today. It says Algorand will be top 10 by next year. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's hard because what do you judge it on, right? Like, I want to get that TVL up. The TVL to me is much more important because that means people are actually using it. And when people are using it, then they value it and it's going to stick around a while. We got a lot of people right now. Ryan says, "How is your Lofty doing?" I have it, of course, and kind of leaving it right where it is. But you got to know. Yeah, Robert asked about it too. Yeah, there's a couple of things they've done recently that I'm not wild about. One of them is the fact that when they launched the new platform, you can't use anything except they're very narrow in what you can use to actually buy the tokens. So and then they're all mixed in with the regular new sales. So I wanted that separated, and they made it a little more apparent now. So I like that. That's good. But the other thing they did that I really didn't like is they're offering an incentive for new properties now, and they baked it into the price on the platform. So if you look at the platform, unless you read the fine print, it looks like that's the really it looks like it has a really high cash on cash return, but that's only for like a limited time. I thought that was a little deceptive. I'm not really very happy about that. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little miffed that they went on another Algorand channel, even though I reached out to them a long time ago for an interview, and they said they weren't doing interviews. So if they changed their mind, I would have appreciated if they got back to me. But that's minor. That's not going to affect my view of the project. The thing I'm still pretty big on it. I'm also waiting for the real estate market to crash, which should be happening in probably between now and 6 months. I think you're not going to see a 2008 crash. That's not going to happen. We don't have these crazy lending practices going on right now, but I think you will see a decline in sales and thus price. And so I think you're going to get some better deals on Lofty in 6 months. So I'm accumulating stock and Algorand for my Algorand projects. Let's see. Notorious Drunk said, "Are we at support right now?" Yeah, I'm not the guy to ask about support. I'll be honest. I know I know a bit about enough about TA to know when to look for pumps, but yeah, I think JT would be a better guy to ask about that. And then Leg says, I would say speed of Algo is impressive. Buying from Coinbase, moving to Pairwallet is already done by the time I switch apps on my phone. Yeah, it is crazy, right? So a great story about this. So I recently got sponsored to go to the Decipher conference, and my sponsor sent the payment in Algorand. It came from Milan, got to me in 4 seconds. I sent it to my Coinbase account in another 4 seconds, and then sending it to fiat to the bank took like 3 days. So people want to know the use case of Algorand. Well, there you go, right? Oh, Jez, yeah, I'm not gonna put you on screen, Jez, but that's on my list of news to cover today. Excuse me. Yeah, and I will talk about that. Okay, let's move on. We'll answer some more questions in a minute. I just want to get through some of we got through price. We got through DeFi Llama. Oh yeah, here, this is a good one. I'm going to show you guys this one. This is pretty cool news. 1 second here. Yeah, so Zone launched their fantasy sports platform. I was kind of wondering when that was going to come out. I don't know if you guys play Zone, but let's just take a look. I've got that pulled up here. Yeah, and this is what it looks like. There are let's see, AAA sports leaderboards. Oh, that's esports. Wait, where did it go now? Can I go back? Yeah. It's hard to see with the lights on me, but anyway, yeah. So these are the fixtures. They come up on here. They tell you when the game is going to start, and then you can create. Come on. So let's say I want to get involved in this one. I can create a team, pay one algo. I think I have choices, and then I can add players to my sports team. I'm going to tell you what, I do not know enough about this to participate. I don't think. Wicket keepers says I can select up to four, but there's only three people. I don't know what that means. Um, anyway, I just want to point that that's available. By the way, Zone has Zone has a bunch of new games. This has to be in about a week because I haven't played it in a week. There's like an escape run where you're running. There's like a Candy Crush type game. I'm not sure about Merge Mania because I didn't play it. Apparently, some kind of soccer game. And a lot of the old games are gone, other than Hoop Star is still around, as is the X-wing style game, clearly modeled after Star Wars. But yeah, one more thing to add to them. So they're out there. I just want to point that out. Let's see. A lot of comments. I like that. So I just wanted to point out the new Zone game because I think it's important part. I haven't been playing it very much. I was playing it more a few weeks ago. I mean, you can earn little bits amounts of money, and I think it's a good way to do play to earn because it's for companies that are trying to grow their tokens, so they're putting them out there. It kind of works as a farming pool. That I kind of get. That kind of makes sense. I kind of want to do a big video on play to earn and play to own and the whole debate about what's sustainable and what isn't. You know, I've covered town on this channel, and that's been kind of a disaster lately. So anyway, one thing, let's see. So I talked about market cap, so I'm going to close. I had something else up, but here, this one's interesting. Let me pull this up. Not really a news item per se, but interesting. So this guy posted on the Algorand subreddit, and he said, I tried out Algorand, downloaded the Pair wallet, nice experience, decent UI, very fast. I love the potential of Algo, so I wanted to explore the ecosystem. I opted into Yieldy, bad decision, got out and swapped everything back to Algo. Any advice on better projects in the ecosystem? So I think that was really, I like that. I like getting that outside perspective because I've been in Algorand for a while now. And that's always been my perspective. But then there are those times when I think, well, am I just so stuck in this that I'm not, maybe there's things that I'm not seeing or I'm blind to. So it's kind of interesting to have someone get this experience and then really like it, then get into Yieldy and realize it's not great. And that's kind of the conclusion I've had lately too. I'm just kind of curious what other people said. Nexus, I don't know what that. Algo Casino for gambling. Yeah, I'm not. I don't do any gambling. I haven't played around with that at all. Someone said that Yieldy used to be my favorite. Now they've fallen. Not just the price too. It's actually I tried to join one of their distribution pools the other day and it wouldn't let me. So it just wouldn't work. It's so weird. Here's some of the first things. Yeah, interest. I am kind of curious. Yeah, someone saw a post on Yieldy and that's how they opted in. Yeah, I was kind of wondering why that would be the first thing they go to. It is the oldest. I was in on day one. I just happened to see a news item on it the day it came out. I'm just kind of curious. Whatever. Here's a pretty good layout. Tiny Man, Pack Humble for Dex, and then Algo 5 for lending, Folks Finance for staking, lending, borrowing, DeFi for it's the leading DeFi wallet on Algorand. I've been happy with Para and my Algo combination. By the way, guys, if you want to know how to pair those together, because I get those questions every once in a while, I have a video on how to pair your Para wallet with your or with your My Algo wallet, and it's pretty helpful because then some apps, some dApps, you have to use the Para wallet. But if it doesn't use that, if it only allows for if it allows for My Algo, I usually prefer to do it that way on my computer. Okay, yeah, so not much else. Another reference for Lofty, which actually is a good excuse to talk about. Someone mentioned that. Yeah, Ryan says, I had a conference call roughly 2 weeks ago with Max Ball, and toward the end of November, early December, they will be accepting credit card payments and bank payments for purchasing on the marketplace. Yeah, that's good. Um, but what about using your rental returns? Because I buy a lot of, I usually use at least some of them towards some of the rental returns toward my new purchases, as well as I get those referral credits, but I can only use them for the new ones, and they haven't had very good options lately. Yeah, Max, I've been talking a lot with Max, and he's the one who told me that they didn't do interviews, and they must have changed that now. But um, yeah, I would have. I guess I could always still reach out. I'd have some things to ask him for sure. Let's see. Notorious Drunk said, I sold my big bag of Allen right before it hit almost $3. Will not make the same mistake twice. Yeah. Well, that was if you sold it then, that was a good time to sell it. I took some profit then. By the way, guys, you should definitely, and this is not financial advice, hashtag whatever, but you really should be taking profit when coins pump to all-time highs, because they're going to come down. They go up and they come down. Okay, so you definitely want to take some. I wouldn't sell your whole bag, but definitely sell off some, because it'll cool off and then you can buy back in. And then when you get these bear markets, you definitely want to be accumulating, which I've been accumulating like crazy. I have almost 10,000 Algo in my account now, spread out over all the projects, of course. But if that pumps up to $2, $2 or $3 again, I'll be sitting pretty. That's for sure. Yeah, I've been hearing about this. Algorand is being used in Argentina. I'm very happy about that. Are you from Argentina? I'd love to hear about your experience. That'd be awesome. And so you buy it on Binance. I buy it on Coinbase, and I buy it through the trade because it's really cheap. Seems to be like the cheapest way to do it. Okay, well, let's see what else we got. Oh, I know what we're gonna talk about. Oh, a couple things. Where should I go first? I don't need that. I know what we're gonna talk about. Hold on one second. So I saw a post, and I wanted to talk about this because I saw a post talking about how how Algorand lost like 30 million algo out of the committed algos, which it did. Here it is right here. So this is algorandstats.com. Very great. It's a great site for tracking governance and what's going on with it. We did indeed lose 30 million. So it will affect the rewards, but guys, there's 4.1 billion in there. So I wouldn't get too excited. I mean, here's what it looks like. Here's what the commitment looks like. And yeah, it's going down. You can see that number going down as I slide it over. So, I mean, we're still over 4.1 million. We'll probably finish maybe just under 4 million, I'd guess. You always see a big drop when the vote comes. So something to keep in mind. A lot of people just miss it. They don't think about it. They don't go vote, and then they lose their governance. So I would just keep that in mind. But I just want to point that out because it's something people are talking about. Like this is going to make a huge difference on the period percentage. And I will tell you, 30 million sounds like a lot, but not when you got 4.1 billion locked. Okay, it's pretty small, but something to think about. Oh, I got to see this. Okay. Yes, I'm from Argentina. We have a lot of inflation here. We also use Algo in our transactions because the fee on transactions is cheaper than BTC. I bet. I bet. That's awesome. I love to hear it being used. Very cool. Very cool to hear from Argentina. Sounds right nice, right? It's raining and cold where I am right now, so I'll tell you, Argentina sounds pretty nice. I think one of my friends is down there actually. One of my friends from the fire community. So if you see a girl with purple hair. And Pat, I'm not skipping anybody. Pat asks, what happened to the hat? Well, as I mentioned, it rained today, and I took the dog for a walk in the rain and let her run around because dogs, you gotta let them out and get some exercise. Well, the hat is soaked, and so I'm not wearing the hat today. So I got a different hat on today, but I got some new ones, by the way, guys. I got some new hats. Some just regular old Algorand hats. And I think it shows up in my channel now. I integrated it, so I think it's down there. If it's not, you'll be seeing it very, very soon. Let's see. I'm kind of going backwards now. Is Tiny Man the go-to DEX on Algo? For me it is. Actually, I've got a video coming out comparing the DEXs, but I'll give you a little inside tip. Yeah, Tiny Man still over 50% market share on the DEXs. So Tiny Man is like 50 some percent of all accounts, and then everyone else is sharing the rest of the other three. So yeah, Tiny. I think I like it. I really love the farms that they have. I'm huge on those farms. And Tribold says, "I've heard news about Algorand advertising the world at the World Cup." No, I haven't. The other thing about that is I've been really annoyed at FIFA for not pushing those NFTs. They've been doing really well, and I think they do even better if they actually promoted it. I don't really understand why they're not promoting it, but they're not. Yeah, you can see both of my sound absorbers fell down now. I figured they would. They're just not staying up. Taurus Drunk says, I believe that the ISO 20022 tokens are gonna one of the only ones that survive the reckoning when regulations come. I'll tell you, the fact that Algorand is one of the ISO 20022 tokens is a big deal. There are like 6 of them that are either certified or are compliant, and Algorand is one of them. XRP is another one, and so is Quant, which has had a huge price action lately. And then there's a few other ones that are like, you probably haven't heard of them. I hadn't heard of them. Maybe you have. I don't know. Maybe you guys follow the other coins more than I do. So for people that don't know, ISO 20022 is the protocol that allows for inter-country bank transfers. There's a more precise term for that, and I never have it at the top of my head, tip of my tongue, so to speak. But I've only coins that have this capability will be used for inter-country bank transfers between countries, bank transfers between countries. Excuse me. So the fact that Algorand is one of them, very big deal. I don't know what. Yeah, you're right. When regulations come, I mean, they're gonna be sitting pretty, I think. So this is one of the reasons I'm big on Algorand, and I only learned this recently, but it's just added to my conviction that Algorand's one of the better chains. Let's see, Pat says, will Algo price rocket up during the FIFA Cup? Good question. It depends on, so the thing we were talking about is like, will FIFA actually start promoting these NFTs? They're out there, the people are buying them, but they just went through a third of the original ones they've been minted now, and now they've dropped 2 more chains. But I'm hoping that it'll be a big deal if during the World Cup, they actually have some ads for, hey, by the way, you can get NFTs for your favorite moments. Now, one thing I think they should have done, I wish it was more like the player cards. I think that would have been better, but it also would have probably taken more planning, in terms of who's scarce, who's epic, who's iconic. And I imagine that there's more jockeying for position with that sort of thing, because if you're a player, you'd probably be insulted if you were a common, or what if Messi is an iconic and Ronaldo is only an epic? They might get mad. That's where I put him, by the way. Oh, hot take. I'm only kind of a soccer fan, so where do you see Cosmic Champs? Well, I'm gonna tell you, DeFi man. I tried it out. I tried out the closed beta, and I gotta say, it was pretty impressive. I enjoyed it a lot. It was fun. I think they hit the line perfectly between like fun to play, but there's a little bit of strategy involved. It's sort of automatic, but it's more of the strategy of where you place your characters and how much you have, like a mana bar that's like perpetually increasing. And as it increases, you can use that mana. So each of your NFTs cost something. Yeah, we went well. I have a video on my channel if you want to check it out of the playtest. But overall, very happy. I do want to disclose, and I've disclosed this elsewhere, that I did receive an additional NFT from from the Cosmic Champs team. And I did that with the, with the caveat, and I told them I would only accept it as long as they understood that it would buy no special favors and that I would disclose it to my community. So just want to be clear about that. But yeah, so far, very happy. I'm glad it might have put me in. I guess I wouldn't have wanted the NFT if the game was bad, so that helps too. As far as the ecosystem, well, that's another question. The game is fun, but how will the ecosystem go? We've seen some collapses with Axie Infinity. Townstar had to shut off their town distribution, and so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. That part is tricky, and the only one that seems to have gotten it right is Splinterlands, and that's because Splinterlands is kind of like Magic the Gathering from back in the day, where it's like you gotta pay to win a little bit. I know Maddie has said he does not want Cosmic Champs to be pay to win, but then it's like, well, if everyone can earn, then eventually the coin just doesn't have much value. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to the game launching though. Okay, I've got one more news item, and I know I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit here. Oops. Hold on a second. Well, a couple things. So this is big. The DApp Play Store has announced that they're going to have Algorand integration. So basically, this is a huge store for all dApps on a number of different chains, and I'm skipping a lot of this just because there's a lot of like fluff in here. They're talking about what blockchain is. You guys know what blockchain is. The partnership, the Algorand blockchain is uniquely functional. That's all. Jesus. So they're going to offer exceptional service to users with this amazing technology. This is such a press release. The DApp Play Store will integrate all those decentralized applications from Algorand's ecosystem into its infrastructure. This is the important point. By doing so, Algorand's dApps can gain more visibility and traction on the DApp Store. So this is a big deal. This is why this is a big deal. The visibility. So people will be going to this DApp Play Store that aren't necessarily Algorand people, and then they'll see this, and then they'll want to do it. This synergistic integration, God, talk about using all the VC buzzwords, right? Will spark new energies, giving users. God, I can't even read it. It's so bad. This is a very good thing, but this is a very bad. This is a very poorly written press release. Yeah, it basically says the same thing above. It gives more people access to the dApps in the ecosystem. Spreading the gospel. Apparently, both platforms will be fairly environmentally friendly. So I'm not going to read any more of this because it's going to make my brain hurt. Maybe it's all my years as a journalist, but I can't stand PR speak. It just drives me nuts. It's like, guys, just say the thing you're going to say. Hey, look at it's Marucat. Marucat is my Twitter friend as well. Welcome to the channel. See, Tribold says it'd be incredible if they had a special promotion for the NFT marketplace, like buy one, get one free for new users. Yeah, or something from the game too. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's ways to do it. I wonder if they're gonna that would be interesting if they minted a new set like kind of in real time, like if they did a week 1 of the current World Cup or something. That might be kind of interesting. I have to move over to cover up those things. Yeah. But yeah, we'll have to see how they do that. I'm definitely going to be watching. It probably makes me want to watch the World Cup like a little more because I have those NFTs now. Yeah. So, oh yeah, one more thing I want to go through, just some around the blockchain kind of stuff. And someone was talking about this earlier. Solana's SOL spiked 15% on a suggestive tweet from Google Cloud. Should we tell our followers the big news? Google Cloud tweeted an hour before revealing what it was doing with Solana. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we got to go any further. Why would you partner with a blockchain that has gone down 9 times this year? 9 times. Why? It just drives me nuts. Crypto can be a weird space, you know. So when I got into this, I mean, I didn't get into this to make an Algorand channel. I frankly started with a personal finance channel, and then I started talking about the crypto projects I was doing. And frankly, people seemed more interested in that, so I started doing more crypto videos. And the reason I'm doing mostly Algorand stuff now is because it just works, right? The other stuff doesn't work. And Solana is a good example of that. But you know, I just noticed I noticed something when I was getting into crypto that always confused me is like it didn't seem to matter. The better product, like Ethereum could have the ridiculously high gas fees beyond what you could possibly think is reasonable, and people are still like, yeah, these Ethereum projects are great. I don't get it. It just confuses me. But that being said, I feel like people are finally starting to get what Algorand is all about and why it's why it's a better chain. And because of that, you're starting to see the bigger guys, you know, like your BitBoy cryptos and your altcoin dailies. They're starting to talk about Algorand a lot where they didn't really talk about it much before. And I think they kind of see the writing on the wall too. So a lot of people get really excited about the price, and so that's one reason. Like I guess a coin that went from like a few cents to like $1,500. That seems like a lot. Or Bitcoin, you know, I remember Bitcoin back in the day too. Gosh, I remember when it was like several Bitcoin to a penny or something like that, which is kind of hard to imagine now. But and then you looked into it and you're like, well, I got to send some money order to some shady person wherever. I mean, it wasn't easy to buy. There was no Coinbase back then, or there weren't these like centralized exchanges. You just had to like kind of send in some money and hope, which frankly, $10 worth back then. If you could also have held on to the wallet. That's one of those things when people say, I wish I would have gotten a Bitcoin. It's like, yeah, but you wouldn't. Even if you went back and had it to do again, you probably wouldn't because it was really hard to get into back then. Now, obviously, that's a lot different. But also, you could have mined it on your computer. So, yep. Anyway, that was just did I share the second one? Oh, I forgot to talk about helium. Sorry. Hey, look at my man Christian Cassini is on the stream. What's going on, Christian? Probably a good time to talk about my sponsor, NifGen.com. NifGen is a NFT platform that is also going to be starting basically a Patreon type service for Algorand creators such as myself. And you should go sign up now, by the way. You can sign up for the account now. December 1st, they're going to be going live with the Patreon like service. But here's where it differs from Patreon that I like. Patreon, it's like, well, if I like this podcast, I can give them $5 for their extra content. I like this one, I give them 10, et cetera, et cetera. Well, this one, if you want to get all the stuff from me, from Adam Bergman, from who else? JT, Invest in You, Crypto for Change, The Next Block, all those guys, you can do E. Smitty, the music producer. You can get all that stuff and for one $8.99 fee. So $9 gets you all the extra content from all your favorite Algorand creators. I think it's great. I think it's going to be a big help for all of us, and we're all really excited about it. And frankly, NifGen is sending us a bunch of us to decipher, including yours truly, FrugalBC. So big shout out to Christian and NifGen. And by the way, speaking of other Algorand creators, guys, if you guys wouldn't mind helping out my man Adam Bergman, he just had his channel hacked and he started a new one. In fact, I'm gonna look it up because did he call it the Berg? No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm sorry, this will take just a second. I just want to yeah, he had his channel hacked. I mean, they got into his Gmail. It's really bad. I just want to make sure I got the right one. Because yeah, something they just completely took over his account, which is such a bummer. Sorry about that. Sorry, this will just take a second, I promise. Yeah, he's already up to 1.85. So he's growing it. Oh, wait. Okay, he's like swearing like crazy. Yeah, go search. If you search Adam Bergman, I should have pulled this up before the live stream. That would have been smart. Here it is. Yeah, it's the Berg version 2. He's got like 180 subscribers. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. So yeah, go follow Adam because I feel so bad. I would just be devastated if that happened to me. All right, let's go back through who we got. Yeah, speaking of Adam, Adam had a really good. He had an interview with the Milk and Media folks. I'm still digging into that. I'll be honest. I kind of understand it, but I kind of don't. Maybe if they're at a Decipher and I meet them in person, I can. Because I just won't do a video unless I fully understand what it is I'm talking about. Oh, look at this. ASA Stats is releasing their mobile app soon, says Mario Cat. Should be on Google Play Store and Apple Store soon. Very cool. I'm going to keep an eye on that. That's for sure. Let's see. What else we got coming in? Why does interest rate drop on the DeFi farm? Are you talking about the tiny man farms? Because yeah, I noticed that too. I was earning a lot more, and then all of a sudden, it just was not earning as much. It's a little disturbing. Let's see. Covers are better for all of us. The Berg will be back. Yep. Well, I hope so. Yeah, no, he's got his channel, but I hope he gets his actual channel back because he was like the biggest one of all of us. Great guy. You know, we're gonna be hanging out at Decipher, so that'll be good. Thanks for cross promoting Adam. Yeah, I mean he's my buddy. So I reached out to. It was nice, you know. I reached out to him, and I guess I was one of the first people to actually interact with him and be like, "Hey, you want to come on my channel?" I didn't know if he'd say yes or not. He was a lot bigger. He was about 10 times as big as me. So very cool that he came on, and I think people like to be interviewed. I think they like to have that attention. I sure do. So it says I can't wait for that coverage. Yeah, me too. I've thought long and hard about how I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to try to do like little spot interviews. I think I did try to set something up with Anthony Scaramucci. I haven't heard back from his team yet. I might just try to grab him. I'm trying to grab people for quick comments versus doing like long interviews. And then I'm going to do edited videos every night. I think that'll be the easiest. And just kind of give you the highlights, cut in with some B-roll from the thing and any interviews I can get that day. So I do this. I do all my FrugalBC stuff on a webcam, but I'm also going to bring along my Sony, and which is a very good. It's a very good camera. I'll be shooting with it tonight, in fact, for photos. But I'll just get like short little interviews with people, and I'll have my tripod along, so it'll be all good. Christian says, Decipher is going to be great. I hope so. Yeah, it'll be fun. Oh yeah, maybe I gotta do. Maybe by then. Oh yeah, NifGen won't be out yet. I do have some videos on, but I just put some of my regular videos on NifGen. I don't think the actual Patreon part will be open, but you can see them on my channel. In case anyone's wondering what I'm talking about. But yeah, we're looking forward to. So what I'm going to do for NifGen, I'm going to put, because right now for my channel members, I do a post that breaks down my weekly moves, my portfolio, the moves I've made, and then how much I'm making on each protocol, basically within the Algorand ecosystem. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video version of that for the NifGen platform. So I'm going to do that once a week, and then I might do some other stuff. Yeah, you need to wear a headscarf. Yeah, the funny thing is once I learned I was going to Dubai, I'm like, "Man, I know nothing about this place." So I watched a couple videos and, it's pretty open from what it looks like. I mean, you don't wanna, like it's dry, but you can drink in bars and hotels, and, some of the stuff I read early on about, like, how even guys are supposed to wear long sleeve shirts doesn't really seem to be true. It's basically built as, like, a vacation hub, so it should be pretty fun. It wasn't terribly expensive either. The flight was kind of expensive, but the hotels were much more reasonable than I thought. Let's see, Mario Cat says, "Do you have to be a creator to list NFTs on NifGen?" I think you do, but, maybe Christian wants to chime in if he's still watching. He can let Marocat know whether she can create NFTs, if she has to be a creator or if anyone can just do it. And one of the things I guess I learned was that oh, there we go. Christian says, "No, you don't. Anyone can do it." One of the cool things, I guess, is that we'll be able to offer our videos as NFTs. I think I understand that right. Christian, you can say in the chat if I'm incorrect on that, but nice to have you on, by the way. It's pretty cool. I wonder what time it's you're in Italy, right? I wonder what time it is there now. So it's like 4:45 in the afternoon here. Yeah, for the videos for our video channels, then you need to be a verified video creator, which a bunch of us on the Algorand. Oh, 10, kind of late. Christian staying up late just for the FrugalBC stream. I love it. Very cool. All right, guys. Hey, you guys got any questions? I'll probably be wrapping up pretty soon, but anything else you want to know? Now's the time. Otherwise, I think, oh, the one thing I didn't get to was that Helium is building out, the Helium network is building out a mobile phone network. They plan to give free trials to Solana phone users. And yeah, interesting. Helium was one of the things I was going to experiment with on my channel. I ultimately decided not to, because I had just there were other things in Algorand that seemed much more useful. And now I just watched a video from Voxcoin about Helium and saying how he doesn't think it's very useful anymore. Apparently, they're trying to do their own coin ecosystem like Algorand, and it's not going well from what it sounds like. So I still had kind of had that on my to-do list of getting a Helium miner and trying that out, but I think I'm just gonna skip that for now. So all right. Well, Pat. Thanks for watching. Thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate that, guys. Like I said, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button and hit the like button to share it with other folks. My whole approach is like I just try this stuff out. I put some money in, I see how it goes, and I tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because nothing, when I was getting into crypto, nothing frustrated me more than seeing these videos that made everything sound like it's peaches and roses, and then I try it out, and it's there's all these things they didn't tell me about that are really frustrating. So I didn't want you guys to have that experience too. So that's why I do these videos. There is a join button if you want to join channel membership. There's two different tiers. The top tier will get you my weekly portfolio review in post form, and like I said, that will be moving to a video form on NifGen soon. Otherwise, thanks guys so much. Super chats are available and all that too. Super thanks, whatever. If you're watching this after the fact, check out my sponsors down below. And as always, you guys have crypto heads in. And as always, you guys have a great day. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the future.